Hello guys! We're back again to our video 4 entitled Gene Regulation and Mutation. So, tanungin natin sarili natin, ano nga ba gene regulation at gene mutation? Okay? So, yun po ang itatopic natin for today's video. Okay? Our main idea for today, gene regulation is the ability of an organism to control which genes are transcribed in response to the environment. Okay, parang isang bagay, ang gene regulation daw po ay isang bagay na kinakailangan dahil ito po ay siya po ang nagkakalap ng mga importanteng impormasyon na kinakailangan din natin. Okay? So that is gene regulation. Pero ano nga pong gene mutation, kuya? Gene mutation is a permanent change that occurs in a cell's DNA. Why? Naisip ba natin, bakit kaya may iba na hindi normal physically, 'di ba? Hindi normal yung kulay niya, hindi siya kamukha ng ganito, ganyan, 'di ba? Maybe there are some point na hindi nakalap doon sa cell na dapat makalap niya ay merong isang bagay na hindi nakuha. So, that occurs gene mutation. Okay? And for our next slide, there are two types of gene regulation. First is the prokaryote gene regulation. Prokaryotes are simple. In prokaryotes, an operand often controls the transcription of genes in response to the changes in the environment. An operand is a section of DNA that contains the genes for the proteins needed for a specific metabolic pathway. A regulatory gene turns on and off. For example, isang job ng liver is to remove toxic substances like alcohol from the bloodstream. Tama po ba? Para magawa ito, liver cells express genes including subunits of an enzyme called alcohol dehydrogenase. At itong enzyme na to, ito po yung nagbi-break into a non-toxic molecule. The neurons in person's brain don't remove toxins from the body. So they keep these genes unexpressed or turned off. Kaya po sabi po niya dyan, yan din po yung nagko-control kung ano po yung dapat niyang i-express in that kind of process. Okay? And to the next is the eukaryotic gene regulation. Eukaryotes have many more genes than prokaryotes. Simple explanation ng eukaryotes at prokaryotes, di ba po? And there's a question, how is transcription controlled in eukaryotic gene regulation? First, transcription factors type of protein ensure that gene is used at the night time and that proteins are made in the right amount. Okay? That's very important. The complex structures of eukaryotic DNA also regulates transcription. Okay, always remember that. So that is gene regulation. Very simple lang po. So let us go to mutations or gene mutations. A mutation is a permanent change that occurs in cells' DNA. Sabi nga po natin kanina. And a mutation is a gene sequence protein synthesis can change the protein that is made. Okay? Like, there are types of mutations. Point mutations are substitution, insertion, and deletion. So let's just go first into point mutations or substitutions. There are some definitions of mutation. Mutation DNA changes the amino acids also base sequence. A different amino acids or series of amino acids are incorporated into the protein that is made in ribosomes that can result be a malfunction of the protein. Sabi ko nga po kanina, hindi po normal. The right term there is malfunction of the protein. Mutated proteins often do not work. Remember, the shape is very important to its function. Yun nga po sabi ko sa inyo kanina. A mutation can affect a single nucleotide or a large segment of DNA. Okay po. So that is mutation. Let us just go to the first type of mutation. The substitution or the point mutation. A mutation in which one nucleotide base replaces another. Point mutation affects only one codon, so they affect only one amino acid in a peptide chain. It may or may not have serious effects on an organism. It depends on where the mutation occurs and how it affects the protein for which it codes. It can be harmless. Muscular dystrophy is an example of a disease caused by a point mutation. Kung alam po natin yan. Sorry, wala po akong naibigay na image of it. You can search it na lang po. Nonsense, early stop codon due to the wrong amino acids. Muscular dystrophy is a progressive muscle disorder characterized by the weakening of many muscles in the body. So that is first type of mutation, the substitution or point mutation. Ano ang po ang second type of mutation, kuya? That is insertion. Insertion means it is one or more bases into a nucleotide sequence. This can change many amino acids in the polypeptide chain, thus changing the protein. It causes a frame shift in the mRNA bases, thus cause the wrong amino acid to be added to the polypeptide chain. Crohn's disease is caused by an insertion. Crohn's is a chronic inflammation of the intestinal tract sa tiyan po natin, producing diarrhea, yan, abdominal pain, nausea, fever, and weight loss. That is insertion. Okay? In some point, sabi po dito sa insertion, it is inserted into a new place in the DNA. That is insertion. Same definition or simple definition of insertion. Okay po. So let's go to third type or last type of mutations, deletion. From the word itself, deletion, one or more bases is removed from a nucleotide sequence. A different amino acids is put into the peptide chain, thus changing the protein. Cystic fibrosis, a disease characterized by abnormally thick mucus in the lungs, intestines, and pancreas, is an example of a mutation. Okay? So, bear with me. Sorry po kung hindi ko po naibigay yung right images po ng mga sakit. Sayang po. But, i-search nyo na lang po kung may time po kayo. Okay po? Thank you po. So, that's the last type of mutation, the deletion. Okay? That's the major types of mutation. Yan po, makikita po natin sa PowerPoint. Okay po. And ano nga po ang nagkukos ng mutation, kuya? Mutation can occur spontaneously. DNA polymers can make a mistake. Chemicals and radiation also can cause or damage DNA. High energy forms of radiation such as X-rays and gamma rays are highly mutagenic. A mutagen is any agent that changes DNA of an organism. Thymines can stick together causing a kink in the DNA. The bases will not band correctly. That's it. If you will see the picture, yan po ang cause ng mutation. Okay, kung bakit po nagkakaroon ng another type of species, or maybe sabihin na lang natin na pangit naman kung sabihin natin abnormal, but in some ways they are different. Okay, let us just compare what is body cell and sex cell mutation. Okay, somatic cell or body cell mutation are not passed on to the next generation. Okay, tandaan po natin yan. Somatic cells are cells in the body that are not sex cells. Syempre. And for second is the sex cell mutations that occur in sex cells are passed on to the organism's offspring. Yan, kung alam po natin yan. Like the isang bagay, kung alam po natin ang fertilization, parang tulad po nito, will be present in every cell of the offspring. The mutations may not change how the cells function or may have serious effect on the organism. Okay? Hindi po mag-change yun. Yun at yun po ang mangyayari. Okay? So, isa po, add-ons lang po natin yan. For the trivia, for today's video, kilala niyo po yung mga Bajau people. Sabi po niya dito, the Bajau people can stay underwater for as long as 13 minutes due to a gene mutation. Diba? Kung nakikita po natin, parang nakakabilib din. Sabi po dito, the PDE10A gene gives them a larger spleen, which provides them with more capacity to oxygenated red blood cells. Wow. Inisip ko sana, ano na lang ako, Bajau. Pero, ganito tayo kinrate ni Lord eh. Kaya tanggapin natin, okay? So, for today's video, maraming salamat po sa inyong pakikinig. And, nawa po ay kayo po ay natuto sa lahat mo ng ating napag-aralan about sa gene regulation and gene mutation. For more information, just always beep us to our Facebook account, Jeremiah Salvador Tuliao. And hanggang dito na lang po. Maraming salamat po and God bless.